Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about how planetary wind belts affect climate. So we've already talked about this before, right? So in places that have high pressure, we have dry climates, and in those areas the air sinks and they move away or diverge. And in places with low pressure, the climate is wet. The air rises because in low pressure, the air rises and it converges near the surface. The air is moving towards the low pressure area near the surface, and the air is moving away from the high pressure areas near the surface. And we've also talked about this, right? That all of our rainforests are in the world are located in low pressure areas near the equator, and our deserts in the world are located in high pressure areas near 30-degree north and 30-degree south. So that's how planetary wind belts affect climate. Places of high pressure and low pressure, and the direction of the winds, the prevailing winds, affect where we have arid or dry weather versus humid or wet weather. So go ahead and write this down in the bottom of your note packet. Last factor that affects climate are planetary wind belts, and we can look at reference table page 14 to figure out the different planetary wind belts and the different areas of pressure. Pause this video, try number 20. On the map above, draw one curved arrow between 0 and 30-degree north to indicate the direction of prevailing planetary winds between these latitudes. So, which way do you think the winds will blow? Draw an arrow. Your answer should look something like this. So notice that this is between 0 and 30-degree north latitude. And if we look at our reference table, page 14, we see that between 0 and 30-degree north, the arrows are pointing actually towards the southwest. And they're called northeast winds because they're coming from the northeast. So just draw an arrow going towards the southwest, coming from the northeast. Okay? So if you draw more than one, make sure that all your arrows are correct. Also, don't draw a straight arrow. Make sure it's curved, just like it is on your reference table. So try number 21, pause this video. Compared to the average air temperature and the average moisture conditions at A, describe how the relative average air temperatures and relative average moisture conditions at B are different. Pause this video. The correct answer is location A, start with location B right here. Location B is on the other side of the mountain, right? Notice that we have water near A, and then the winds are coming from near A, it's going above the mountain and sinking near B. So near B area must be the leeward or rain shadow side of the mountain, and that part is warm and dry. So the air temperature of B must be warm, and the moisture for B must be drier, right? Um, for A, however, if I want to talk about A, in location A, since it's next to the prevailing winds and next to the water, location A's temperature must be cooler and its moisture must be wet or humid. Okay? So pause this video, try 22. Identify the primary factor that causes location C to have a colder climate than location D. Try it, pause it. The correct answer is elevation. Notice that C and D are both near the coast, right? They're both near water, so that can't be it. They're also on the same exact latitude, so latitude can't be a factor. But notice that C is on top of a mountain and D is not. So it must be elevation. C is at a higher elevation, so it's lower temperature than D. So you can say elevation, altitude, height above sea level. Location C is on top of a mountain. Location D is at a lower elevation. C is located in the mountains. So when you're trying to figure out what climate factor it might be, check through all your climate factors and see what makes sense. Try 23, pause this video. Base your answers to questions 23 through 25 on the map below, which shows an imaginary continent on a planet that has climate conditions similar to Earth. The continent is surrounded by oceans. Two mountain ranges are shown. Points A through D represent locations on the continent. So identify one labeled latitude on this continent where a high pressure zone exists and dry air is sinking to the surface. Include both the unit and compass direction in your answer. So we need the latitude with the unit and the compass direction and the degrees, right? So, um, if we want to know where high pressure might be, We're looking at back on our reference table again, page 14, and we know high pressure areas are by 30° north and 30° south. And we're not picking 90° north and 90° south because that's not in our diagram. So this area and this area must be 30° north or 30° south, must be high pressure zones. 24, go ahead and pause this video, try it out. Identify one factor that causes a colder climate at location B than at location A. The correct answer is location B is located high in the mountains, and location A is lower in elevation. So notice that A and B are at the same latitude. That can't be it. But notice that both A and B are more inland, right? A isn't necessarily next to the ocean. It's not necessarily coastal. They're both inland, so we can't really say, oh, A is near the water and B is not, right? And we can't use mountain barriers either this time because one of these, A or B, has to be next to the ocean, which is not. So notice that B is right on top of a mountain, A is not. That's why we can say B is higher in the mountain, so it's cooler, and A is lower in elevation, so it's warmer. Okay? So try 25, pause this video, explain why location C has a warmer and drier climate than location D. Now, this time you see that D is actually next to water, right? And C is on the opposite side of the mountains. So we must be talking about mountain barriers since we're talking about warmer and drier versus cooler and wetter climates. And notice D is where the wind is coming from. So this must be the windward side, and then the wind blows over the mountains and sinks down to sea. And so this must be the warmer and drier side. So some of your options might be location C is located in the air that is sinking, compressing, and warming. Location C is on the leeward side of the mountain. Location D is near a large body of water. You can see that because we need the water for the air to rise up and rain on location D. You can see the air is traveling over the mountains, and as it does, it loses some moisture at D, and that's why C is drier and warmer. And that's it. Thank you.